Recent study finds breakfast cereals marketed to kids may be getting even worse, sweeter, saltier, and less nutritious.
Let me tell you something. For 6 months in college, I ate Froot Loops for breakfast every single day. Not because I was broke, because I genuinely believed I was making a decent choice. They had vitamins on the box, they were fortified with iron, and honestly, they made me happy. Here's the thing though. After weeks of research and analysis of the actual data behind America's most popular cereals, I need to tell you something that's going to hurt. That box of childhood memories sitting in your pantry right now, it's not breakfast. It's a science experiment wrapped in nostalgia, and the cereal companies have calculated, down to the neurotransmitter, exactly how to keep you coming back. Today, we're counting down 25 cereal brands that you need to avoid. And I'm going to show you 5 alternatives that won't make you feel like you're punishing yourself. Let's start with the worst the market has to offer. I remember being a kid and thinking the cartoon character made this cereal cool. Now I know the truth. In 2018, Honey Smacks was recalled due to salmonella contamination. People got sick, families were scared, but even when it's not contaminated, here's what breaks my heart. Honey Smacks contains about 18 grams of sugar per serving, more sugar than most candy bars. You're feeding your kids what amounts to candy for breakfast, and Kellogg's knows it. That honey is processed and combined with caramel color and BHT. Your body processes this almost as identically to how it processes eating gummy bears. The cereal has zero fiber, minimal protein, and spikes blood sugar so aggressively that you'll be hungry again before your second cup of coffee is finished. Trust me, I've been there. The snap, crackle, pop of your childhood just got heartbreaking. One serving contains 12 grams of sugar, but here's what gets me. The cocoa is processed with alkali, stripping away everything good. What you're left with is chocolate-flavored air fortified with synthetic vitamins. The ingredients list includes BHT, found in jet fuel, and embalming fluid. I'm not saying they're embalming your breakfast, but the chemical overlap is uncomfortable. Kellogg's knows nostalgia sells that parents who grew up with Rice Krispies will trust the cocoa version, and they've bet on you buying it before you read what's actually inside. Let me put this in perspective because this one hit me hard. 1 cup contains 15 grams of sugar and is made from milled corn, sugar, corn syrup, and caramel color. That caramel color isn't the burnt sugar your grandmother made. It's a chemical compound created by heating ammonia and sulfites, and the process can create 4-methyl-imidazole, which California lists as a possible carcinogen. The corn is so processed, it contains almost no fiber. You're eating sugar-coated industrial corn product, and your kids deserve better than that. Here's what makes me sick about Fruity Pebbles. 1 serving contains 9 grams of sugar and 5 petroleum-derived artificial colors: red 40, yellow 6, blue 1, yellow 5, and blue 2. Some studies link these dyes to hyperactivity in children. But here's the part that keeps me up at night. They know how to make it without petroleum dyes, they just choose not to in America. Your family isn't worth the extra cost to them. They literally designed a cereal to taste like cookies and marketed it as breakfast. Let that sink in for a moment. Cookie Crisp contains 9 grams of sugar per serving, plus corn flour, sugar, canola oil, cocoa processed with alkali, and caramel color. This isn't nourishment that happens to taste good. This is dessert rebranded as morning food. And General Mills knows exactly what they're doing. They know kids see tiny cookies and lose their minds. They've calculated that the dopamine hit will override any parental hesitation. That's not food innovation, that's exploiting your love for your children. 1 serving contains 13 grams of sugar, more than most candy bars. Post's tagline, "Can't get enough of that golden crisp," is accidentally honest in the cruelest way. The combination is designed to be hyper-palatable, meaning your brain's satiety signals don't fire properly. You literally can't get enough because it's engineered to override your natural fullness cues. That's not a feature, that's manipulation. And they're charging you for the privilege of having your body's natural signals hijacked. I was addicted to Captain Crunch in college, and here's what nobody told me until it was too late. Besides scraping the roof of your mouth, 1 serving contains 12 grams of sugar, and the texture literally scrapes and cuts the inside of your mouth. That's not normal. The cereal is baked at high temperatures with sugar, creating edges sharp enough to cause physical damage. Captain Crunch also contains yellow 5 and yellow 6, petroleum-based dyes banned or restricted in other countries. Quaker Oats has known for years these dyes are controversial, and they continue using them because natural alternatives cost slightly more. They have calculated that your mouth injuries and petroleum dyes are acceptable costs of doing business. That calculation breaks my heart. Tony the Tiger was one of my heroes as a kid, a fixture during my Saturday morning cartoons. Now, I see him differently. Kellogg's took cornflakes and coated them in sugar, creating a cereal with 12 grams of sugar per serving. Their marketing positioned Tony as athletic, confident, energized. The implicit message is that this sugar-coated cereal gives you that vitality. I believed that as a kid. How wrong I was. The cereal is milled corn, sugar, and malt flavoring, with virtually no fiber and minimal protein. Your body converts it to glucose immediately, giving you a brief spike, followed by a crash. Tony the Tiger isn't energized by Frosted Flakes. He's a cartoon character who doesn't have a pancreas. We do, and our pancreas is working overtime every single morning. The marshmallows are made from sugar, modified cornstarch, corn syrup, dextrose, gelatin, and artificial colors, including red 40, yellow 5, yellow 6, and blue 1. One serving contains 10 grams of sugar. But here's the kicker. Those marshmallows are essentially flavored corn syrup that's been solidified and dyed. They have no nutritional value whatsoever. General Mills knows exactly how to formulate marshmallows that children will love and adults will remember fondly. They've calculated nostalgia plus dopamine equals lifetime customers. They're not feeding your family. They're creating customers. They took a candy and turned it into breakfast, and somehow we all just accepted it. Reese's Puffs contains 9 grams of sugar per serving, plus cornmeal, sugar, peanut butter, cocoa processed with alkali, canola oil, and multiple artificial colorants. This isn't a cereal that happens to be sweet. It's literally designed to replicate candy. General Mills has normalized dessert as a morning meal by sticking it in a cereal box and adding synthetic vitamins. The cereal provides minimal protein despite the peanut butter, minimal fiber, and spikes blood sugar immediately. You're essentially eating candy milk soup at 7 in the morning and calling it breakfast. One serving contains 9 grams of sugar, but here's what really gets me. In 2021, multiple consumers reported finding shrimp tails and other foreign objects in their boxes. General Mills' initial response was to claim they were accumulations of cinnamon sugar. They later investigated and found quality control issues at manufacturing facilities. That's not a one-time mistake. That's systematic problems with oversight. Even when there are no shrimp tails in your box, you're eating cereal engineered to override your satiety signals and leave you craving more within an hour. And you trusted them. And cinnamon shrimp tail wouldn't pass the test panel. Tricks are for kids, according to the commercials, but kids deserve so much better than this. One serving contains 10 grams of sugar and multiple artificial colors, including red 40 and yellow 6. In response to consumer pressure, General Mills briefly reformulated Trix to use natural colors from fruits and vegetables. Parents were relieved. Kids were still happy. Then General Mills brought back the artificial version because consumers preferred brighter colors. Boy, can we be dumb sometimes. That's the story they told. The truth, the artificial version is cheaper to manufacture, has a longer shelf life, and they calculated that cost savings outweigh any consumer backlash. They chose profit over your children's health. Spoiler, this one is confusing because regular Cheerios are actually on my recommended list later, but Honey Nut Cheerios is entirely different, and General Mills is counting on you not noticing that it is way out of the healthy zone. One serving contains 9 grams of sugar, more than 9 times the sugar of original Cheerios. The Honey Nut flavoring comes from sugar, honey, natural almond flavoring, and caramel color, along with BHT. General Mills has positioned this as heart-healthy because it contains whole grain oats, but here's what they're not emphasizing. That benefit only works if you're not simultaneously spiking your blood sugar 3 times a day. They've leveraged the trust you have in the Cheerios brand to sell a significantly less healthy version. That's not brand extension, that's brand betrayal. Cocoa Pebbles is Post's chocolate answer to Fruity Pebbles with all the same problems plus unique ones. One serving contains 9 grams of sugar, and the cereal is made from rice, sugar, vegetable oil, cocoa processed with alkali, salt, caramel color, and artificial flavor. While the FDA banned partially hydrogenated oils in 2018, the cocoa is still processed in a way that strips most beneficial compounds, leaving you with chocolate flavor but none of the antioxidants you'd get from actual cocoa. Post has marketed this for decades, with Flintstones characters creating nostalgic associations with childhood and simpler times. But there's nothing simple about alkali-processed cocoa that's been stripped of anything beneficial. They're using your childhood memories to sell you something that hurts you and your family. This is where things get personal for me, because Froot Loops was my addiction, but my addiction came at a cost. One serving contains 10 grams of sugar. What broke my brain when I learned it? All the loops are the same flavor. Yeah, try it yourself with a blind test. They're all the same fruit blend flavor, just dyed different colors. Kellogg's created visual variety to make the cereal more appealing, but it's a complete illusion. Everything about this cereal is designed to deceive you. The cereal contains multiple petroleum-based artificial colors. But here's what really gets me. Kellogg's sells a version in other countries using natural colorings. They know how to make it safer. They just don't in America because petroleum dyes are cheaper. Your family wasn't worth the extra cost. Kellogg's took wheat biscuits, something with legitimate nutritional benefits, and frosted them with chocolate, creating a cereal with 11 grams of sugar per serving. The chocolate coating is made from sugar, corn syrup, cocoa processed with alkali, vegetable oil, and artificial flavoring. Here's what bothers me. Kellogg's markets unfrosted mini wheats as high fiber and healthy, and they're not wrong, but then they coat one side in chocolate and sugar, completely undermining the fiber benefit. It's like burning down a house and hanging a picture on the rubble. The alkali-processed cocoa strips away beneficial compounds. They took something good and deliberately made it harmful because that's what sells. You remember the commercials, right? We eat what we like. Here's what they didn't tell you. 1 cup contains 12 grams of sugar and exactly 0 grams of actual apple. The apple flavoring comes from artificial flavoring and malic acid, the same compound used in sour candy. That cinnamon taste, mostly artificial, delivered through yellow 6 and red 40, petroleum-based dyes banned or restricted in multiple European countries. Your body processes this almost identically to pure sugar, spiking your glucose within minutes and crashing it within an hour. That's not sustained energy. That's a biological roller coaster, and your kids are riding it every morning. Number 8, Corn Flakes Honey Nut. After we covered Honey Nut Cheerios, you kind of know what to expect here. Commercial honey on cereal is never good news. Kellogg's took their basic cornflakes, a relatively simple cereal that people trusted, and added honey and nut flavoring, creating a cereal with 9 grams of sugar per serving. What bothers me is the strategic manipulation. Kellogg's built trust with consumers through plain cornflakes and then leveraged that trust to sell sweetened versions that undermine any benefits. The Honey Nut version spikes blood sugar similarly to other sugary cereals while still carrying the cornflakes brand association with simplicity and wholesomeness. They used your trust against you. They took America's most popular cookie and turned it into breakfast, and somehow we accepted it because, Oreos. Oreo O's contains 10 grams of sugar per serving, made from corn flour, sugar, canola oil, cocoa processed with alkali, corn syrup, and multiple artificial flavors. Post-Consumer Brands has normalized cookie-flavored cereal through brand recognition. But just because something feels normalized doesn't mean it's normal, even if your kids are claiming every other family is eating them. You're feeding your family a chocolate sandwich cookie-flavored grain product with synthetic vitamins added so it can be legally called breakfast. That's not nutrition, that's deception.
Malto-Meal's version of Lucky Charms has similar or worse nutritional stats. 10 grams of sugar per serving with the same petroleum-based artificial colors and nutritionally void marshmallows. But here's what makes Marshmallow Mateys particularly heartbreaking. It's positioned as the budget-friendly alternative, the off-brand option that lets families save money. But you're not saving money, you're paying less for the same problematic formulation with potentially even less quality control oversight. They're targeting families who can least afford health problems, and that makes me sick. Post took the campfire dessert, something meant to be a special treat, and turned it into breakfast. As we've seen, dessert to breakfast is never a smart transition. S'mores contains graham cracker pieces, chocolate pieces, and marshmallows with 11 grams of sugar per serving. Here's what makes me angry. It represents the complete abandonment of any pretense that cereal should be nutritious. This isn't breakfast food that happens to be sweet. It's a dessert that's been repackaged as morning food through nothing more than placement in the cereal aisle. They're taking special memories of camping with your family and using those memories to sell you something that is anything but good for you. General Mills took French toast, a breakfast your grandmother might have made with love on Sunday mornings, and turned it into a sugar-coated cereal with 9 grams of sugar per serving. Who can resist French toast on a box? Here again, they're exploiting the nostalgia and comfort associated with actual French toast. But this cereal removes all the protein from eggs, removes all the substantial grain from bread, and replaces it with processed cornmeal coated in sugar. Miles away from what Grandma used to make. You're getting the taste memory of French toast with none of the nutritional substance and a good side of chemical additives. They took your family memories and turned it into a profit center that smells like a lot of cinnamon. General Mills took Lucky Charms and made a chocolate version with 10 grams of sugar per serving. Here's what makes chocolate Lucky Charms particularly offensive. They've created multiple generations of consumers nostalgic for Lucky Charms, and now they're mining that nostalgia by creating increasingly dessert-like variations. If it works once, why stop? Each iteration is designed to maximize novelty and excitement while delivering the same fundamental problem: sugar-coated oats combined with colored corn syrup solids. The Olmec civilization that invented chocolate would probably cry if they saw what Big Food has done with it. If regular Cap'n Crunch wasn't bad enough, Crunch Berries takes it further by adding colored berry-shaped pieces that are essentially pure sugar bombs with petroleum-based dyes. One serving contains 12 grams of sugar, and the berries contain red 40 and blue 1. The berries have no real fruit, no nutritional value. Combined with the mouth-scraping texture of the original pieces, you're getting physical damage plus artificial dyes plus blood sugar spikes. Quaker knows this combination is problematic, but they've calculated that the novelty of berry-shaped pieces will drive sales regardless. Your children's health wasn't part of that calculation. At least you also get that familiar, scratchy feeling on the roof of your mouth with this one too. Multiple brands make versions of this, but they all share the same fundamental problem. They're designed to taste like cookies and cream ice cream for breakfast. Most formulations contain 10 to 12 grams of sugar per serving. Here's what makes cookies and cream cereal the absolute worst. It represents the complete inversion of what breakfast should be. We've moved from cereal that's somewhat sweet to let's just make ice cream flavored breakfast and see if anyone stops us. Nobody stopped them. This cereal exists because manufacturers calculated that boundaries around acceptable breakfast have completely disappeared. Whenever you see the same nutrition and flavors in your cereals as in a Ben & Jerry's ice cream tub, it's time to pause and reflect on where your life is going. Here's what the cereal companies won't tell you, and this part is going to hurt. They're not in the business of feeding you. They're in the business of selling products you'll repeatedly buy, and they've discovered that the most effective way is to create formulations that hit your reward centers while providing minimal satiety. They've done the neuroscience research. They've tested formulations in focus groups. They've measured exactly how much sugar triggers maximum palatability. This isn't accidental. This is a calculated optimization of profit over health. And it's been happening while we trusted that cereal meant reasonable breakfast food. Now let me show you what you should be buying instead. Plain Cheerios contains 1 gram of sugar per serving, is made from whole grain oats, and provides 3 grams of fiber and 3 grams of protein. It's not exciting, but that's the point. It's not designed to override your satiety signals. It's just oats processed simply. General Mills proves with Cheerios that they know how to make legitimate breakfast cereal. Add your own fruit for sweetness if you need it. Post's original shredded wheat contains 0 grams of sugar and is made from exactly 1 ingredient, whole grain wheat. No sugar, no salt, no preservatives, no artificial anything. 1 serving provides 6 grams of fiber and 5 grams of protein. Post makes this cereal alongside Fruity Pebbles, which proves they have the capacity to make good cereal. Barbara's Puffins contains 5 grams of sugar per serving, still sweet but dramatically less than mainstream options. The cereal is made from whole grain cornmeal, whole grain oat flour, evaporated cane juice, oat bran, molasses, and natural flavors. No artificial colors, no petroleum-derived dyes, no BHT. 1 serving provides 5 grams of fiber and 2 grams of protein. They demonstrate that it's possible to make reasonably sweet cereal without artificial chemicals. This is the organic version of Cheerios. Cascadian Farm uses organic ingredients and avoids synthetic pesticides. 1 serving contains 1 gram of sugar, 3 grams of fiber, and 4 grams of protein. No artificial anything, no concerning preservatives.
The organic certification means the oats and corn were grown without glyphosate. Cascadian Farm is owned by General Mills, which creates an irony. The same company that makes Lucky Charms is fully capable of making clean, simple, organic cereal. Go figure. Kashi Go contains 6 grams of sugar per serving, but also provides 10 grams of protein and 7 grams of fiber, which completely changes the blood sugar equation. The higher protein content provides satiety and sustained energy. If you need cereal that's somewhat sweet but won't wreck your blood sugar, Kashi Go is a legitimate option. Here's my challenge to you, and I'm asking this as someone who's been exactly where you are. Pick one of the 5 cereals I recommended and eat it for breakfast for 2 weeks. Pay attention to how you feel. Notice whether you're hungry again immediately or whether you feel sustained. Track your energy levels, and then, if you want, go back to your old cereal and notice the difference. I'm not asking you to take my word for this. I'm asking you to test it yourself. The food companies have bet that you won't, but you're not a statistic in their market research. You're a person with a body that deserves fuel instead of exploitation. When enough people refuse to buy cereals with petroleum dyes, companies will switch to natural alternatives, as they already do in Europe. The power is with us. That's why I made this video. Not to judge your breakfast choices, but to arm you with information that the cereal companies would prefer you didn't have. If this video was helpful, please take a second to like, share, and subscribe. Please drop a comment and let us know how we did. There are so many interesting stories in the food industry. We are just getting started.